Stop the fairy tales. Loyalty ain't worth 5 life sentences. Bortlen took the deal. Peace sign to the camera. And your favorite Free Melly thread just caught smoke. They don't want Cortland. They want Melly.
You gonna learn today.
And after this, he might be cooked.
Bruh.
I'll show you the parts the internet keeps lying about. 7 years of chaos, delays, and internet detectives. And now we finally got a real shift. Look, mistrial, reschedules, new evidence coming soon posts, all that noise. But today, we got something concrete on paper. This is the update that actually changes the board. Not a rumor, not a Reddit thread, a courtroom move that tells you exactly where the state's eyes been the whole time. Because if you've been paying attention, the drive-by story been limping since day one. Forensics didn't vibe. Timeline didn't vibe. And that phone data?
I don't like where this is going.
Bruh, let's just say it ain't singing lullabies. So here's what we're doing. I'm laying out why the state would rather bend a 5 lifers case into a neat little package deal and who benefits. I'm showing you the part everyone skips. The strategy play. You don't give a man daylight unless he's gonna dim the room for somebody else. And I'm pulling receipts on the no contest confusion. What it actually means in court. What it sounds like on the streets. And why both can be true at the same time. Pay attention to the wording the judge used. There's a line in there that basically says, the deal is the deal, separate from what he answers later.
What do you mean by that?
Translation, the door is cracked for a couple questions when it's showtime.
That count, it's going to be adjudication in 5 years in Florida State Prison. So the 2 accessory counts as well as the temporary count, those come with 6 years of reporting probation after the Department of Corrections sentence. I'll give you credit for all the time that you've served in both cases. All those counts will run concurrently. All those sentences will run concurrently. All counts in all cases, that is at the same time with each other. I'm going to have to impose mandatory court costs. I'm going to order restitution payable to Terry Bagley and payable to Ashley Phillips and reservists of the amount. I'm going to give the state 120 days to tell me the amount of that restitution. If they fail to do so within 120 days, there will be no restitution. If they come back with an amount and the attorneys agree on the amount, I will impose that as another condition of your sentence to pay back that restitution. If they come back with an amount and the attorneys do not agree on the amount, I will conduct a restitution hearing. Sir, lastly, and I want to make it very clear on the record, and it's unrelated to this negotiated change of plea, I guess at some point after the fact, the state wants to take a proffer from you or have a discussion with you, ask you some questions about whatever that may be. What I want you to understand, sir, is I guess that's part of this negotiated resolution, but your answers to any of those questions, whatever they might be, have no bearing on me and have no bearing on this negotiated resolution. In other words, the deal you negotiated is the deal you negotiated, and that's the ballgame. Do you understand all that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Have you had enough time to talk to your lawyers about all that?
Yes, sir.
They've answered all your questions?
Yes, sir.
You're sure that that's what you want to do?
And before the keyboard warriors start with the Stay Solid parade, I'm going to walk you through the math they never do. Time served, 85%, concurrent, and how that peace sign in court wasn't just attitude, it was arithmetic. Roll with me. After this segment, you'll understand why the internet been arguing feelings while the courtroom been counting years. So here's the bombshell moment. Cortland Bortlen Henry walks in, calm as ever, and hits the court with a no contest plea. Not I'm guilty, not I'm innocent, just no contest. That's like telling the judge, I ain't admitting nothing, but go ahead and sentence me anyway. Even the judge sounded low-key shook. 5 life sentences on the table. Life, 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 life. And somehow this man's walking out with a deal lighter than half the dudes locked up for weed.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
And the wildest part? He didn't fold under pressure mid-trial. Nah, he flipped the whole board before jury selection even started. That move alone tells you the state wasn't trying to play fair. They wanted this rap neat, with no surprises leaking into Melly's defense playbook. So picture this. Bortlen looks over, flashes that peace sign at the camera. Translation, y'all figure it out. I'm doing years, not lifetimes. And in that one gesture, he basically told the internet, stop chanting fairy tales. I ain't dying in here for nobody.
Psych!
Here's what it boiled down to. 10 years in Florida State Prison, plus 6 years probation, and it all runs concurrent, meaning instead of stacking those charges one after another, they overlap, like serving 5 meals at once instead of back-to-back buffets. Now add this. Dude already got years of credit time served. Do the Florida math, 85% rule. He might only do another 6, maybe 7 years max. That peace sign in court, yeah, that wasn't attitude. It was a calculator. Bruh went from die in prison to be free by his early 30s. That ain't luck. That's chess. And the judge, even he sounded like, wait, how did we get here? But he still stamped it, because the state didn't blink. They never cared about locking Bortlen forever. Melly's the prize. See, this is where folks on the internet get lost. They see 5 life sentences dropped and scream conspiracy. But the state ain't playing favorites. They're playing strategy. They didn't want to run Bortlen's case first, then hand Melly's lawyers a free preview of their entire game plan. Think about it. If they pushed both trials separate, Bortlen's would have been like a rehearsal dinner. Same witnesses, same exhibits, same forensic breakdown. All before Melly even stepped in. That's a cheat code for the defense. So instead, they offered him a deal so sweet, you'd think Willy Wonka was the prosecutor. Why? Because with one signature, the state keeps their playbook sealed tight and locks Bortlen into the cooperation box. They don't need his whole story. Just the proffer. Just enough to slide a couple questions in front of the jury when Melly's time comes. So nah, this wasn't mercy. This was efficiency. The state saved themselves time, money, and headaches, and in the process, lined up a sharper blade for Melly. Here's the sneaky part. The state slipped in that word, proffer. Sounds harmless, right? Like some paperwork, some casual chat. Nah. A proffer means Bortlen sits down under oath and answers their questions. And those answers, they get locked into the record. Now, in Melly's retrial, they don't even gotta drag him through a full testimony. All the prosecutor has to do is crack that door open. Mr. Henry, didn't you already say XYZ in your proffer? Boom. Jury hears it. Damage done. And the judge even spelled it out. The deal is the deal, separate from what you answer later. Translation, Bortlen's time is secure no matter what comes out his mouth.
Because I want to emphasize, Mr. Henry, and I'm going to do this again at the end of my plea colloquy, whether you resolve the case by way of a negotiated plea or an open plea to me, or you resolve the case by way of a trial, it doesn't matter to me at all. But due to the resources that have been devoted to this case, I have 250 jurors summoned for jury duty starting tomorrow. So I want to be very thorough with you here this afternoon, because if you wake up tomorrow or the next day and you decide you've changed your mind and you want to resolve this case, both cases, by way of a jury trial, that's not going to happen. All right? If you want to have a trial, the trial starts tomorrow. If you want to accept the deal, you can accept the deal today. But there's not going to be any buyer's remorse, in other words, because I've given you plenty of time to think about this, talk to your lawyers about it, talk to your family about it. I talked to you about it last week. Kind of looks like your lawyers probably did something or other to get a better disposition for you as of this afternoon.
So he can't lose. But Melly can get torched. That's why the internet's yelling no contest ain't snitching is only half the story. In street talk, he ducked guilt. In courtroom talk, he just became a tool. So when people call this worse than Gunna's deal, I kind of see the point. Gunna slid out, but Bortlen's exit plan comes with a spotlight aimed dead at Melly. Here's where the language game comes in. In court, no contest means you're not fighting the charges, but you're not saying I did it either. Judges love it because it saves them time. Boom. Case resolved. No messy trial. But in the streets, come on.
We don't do that here.
Folks don't split hairs like that. All they hear is, you didn't keep the not guilty energy. So now he's caught in the middle. Legally, his lawyer can say my client admitted nothing. But socially, internet warriors calling him a snitch, a sellout, and here's the trick. The state doesn't care about the label. They care about leverage. That no contest box gave them exactly what they wanted. A cooperative witness, without even needing a guilty confession. So when Bortlen flashed that peace sign at the camera, he wasn't saying I'm guilty or I'm innocent. He was saying, I found a loophole that gets me out before my 40th birthday. Bruh, run this back with me. Bortlen walked in facing 5 life sentences. 5. That's die in prison, then die again 4 more times. The judge laid it out clean. Capital murder counts, gang charges, witness tampering, every single one carrying heavy time. By the numbers, this man should have been buried under the jail. But then, after the plea, it shrinks down to 10 years plus probation. That's the courtroom version of watching a mansion collapse into a studio apartment. And the wildest part, the judge even sounded shocked. Like, I don't know how your lawyers pulled this off, but here we are. Judges don't usually say that out loud. That's him low-key telling you this ain't normal.
Has anyone forced you, threatened you, or coerced you into entering these pleas? If I accept your pleas, there will not be a trial in either one of these cases. Do you understand that? If I accept these pleas, there's a whole bunch of constitutional rights you are giving up. I want to make sure you understand all of those rights. You have the right to maintain your plea of not guilty and have a trial in each case. You have the right to present defenses, to file motions and other pleadings in support of your defense. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to have the state prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to confront and cross-examine the witnesses against you. You have the right to appeal any decisions that I may have made up to this point or any rulings I might make in a future trial. But understanding by entering this negotiated resolution today, you are giving up all of those rights. The matter is going to be resolved today, right now, this afternoon. Is that what you want to do? Are you satisfied with your lawyers? Have you had enough time to speak with them? Have they answered all your questions? Are you satisfied with all the work that they have done for you? Sir, I've got 2 identical plea forms here entitled Plea of Guilty or No Contest to Criminal Charges in Circuit Court. Each one has your name on the top, your initials on the left-hand side, front and back, and your signature on the back. Did you go over both of these forms? Any questions about what's on either of these forms? And is that your signature on the back of each form?
So let's do the math. 5 life sentences versus 1 decade. Add in credit time served. Apply the 85% Florida rule. Dude could walk in his early 30s. From a death by prison outcome to maybe catching brunch in a few years. That ain't justice. That's pure strategy. Man, listen, the courtroom vibe told its own story. You got victims' families sitting there, eyes locked, waiting for answers. And Bortlen, bruh throws up a peace sign to the camera. That one little gesture split the internet in half. Half saying, smart move. He's telling the world he ain't gonna rot in here. The other half, screaming disrespectful. He mocking the families. He's a rat.
Me personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
But you could see it in the room. That peace sign wasn't just cocky. It was a message to Melly's people in the back. Like, I'm walking. Your boy ain't. It's the kind of moment juries don't forget either. Peace signs, smirks, little signals. They land different when prosecutors replay that footage in Melly's retrial. Bottom line, the optics were loud. And the internet, they did what they always do. Rat, snitch, folded worse than Gunna. And let's be real, the Gunna comparisons came flying in fast. Except here's the twist. Gunna walked free. Bortlen still doing a decade. Different bag, but same stain in the eyes of street code Twitter. Reddit threads lit up too. Polls asking, stay solid or take the plea. Most picked the plea, but the loud minority kept spamming, Melly woulda never. Meanwhile, Melly's still sitting. And that's the wild contradiction. Everybody's an expert until it's their life on the line. You facing 5 life sentences, loyalty starts looking real expensive. Here's the part the fan pages don't want to touch. The whole drive-by story, it never lined up from day one. Forensics came back and said, nah, them shots came from inside the car. Cell phone data had Melly in the wrong spot at the wrong time. And the timeline? Bro, they drove around for hours with 2 dead bodies before hitting the hospital. That's not just a bad look. That's textbook reasonable doubt killer. And remember, the first trial was a mistrial, but only because one juror held the line. The rest, they were ready to convict. That's how close Melly already was to life. So when you stack shaky alibis, forensic evidence, phone pings, and now Bortlen's proffer on top, bruh, that Free Melly slogan starts sounding more like wishful thinking than a movement. That's why the state didn't sweat giving Bortlen a deal. His story plus their science equals Melly's defense bleeding out before trial even starts.
Today your ass is gonna die, bitch. Say goodnight, mother.
So here's the bottom line. With Bortlen taking that deal, the state's path just got way smoother. No messy side trial, no leaking their strategy, and they've got Bortlen on standby, ready to answer a couple questions if they need to crack Melly's case open wider. That mistrial from last time, don't count on lightning striking twice. Prosecutors got to see what worked, what didn't, and now they're tightening the screws. Meanwhile, Melly's defense team, they're scrambling, because now it's not just forensics. It's not just timeline holes. It's the optics of his own right-hand man saying, yeah, I'll take the deal. And juries eat that up. They don't hear no contest. They hear, he gave up fighting, maybe because the truth was too ugly. So yeah, all those free Melly chants online, after this, they sound a lot more like background noise. This right here is where the streets and reality collide. On Twitter, everybody a soldier. Stay solid, don't fold, loyalty over everything. But when you're staring down 5 life sentences, loyalty turns into a luxury. Bortlen did the math. With credit for time served and Florida's 85% rule, he could be out in 6 or 7 years. Versus dying in prison forever, that's not a hard equation. And let's be honest, the same folks typing rat online would fold like a lawn chair if it was their freedom on the line. That's why this street code argument always sounds fake to me. Now, I ain't saying running to the state is noble, but let's keep it a buck. Bortlen chose survival over symbolism. He ain't gonna be a hashtag. He gonna be free before 40. So yeah, call it snitching, call it smart. Either way, it shows you how the game really works once the courtroom lights come on. I gotta say this straight. No sugarcoating. I wonder when these kids rap will learn that this is not the way to go. Wasting your youth in jail over some dumb reason is never worth it. You see it with Melly, you see it with Thug, you see it with half the drill scene. Everybody want to live the lyrics till the courtroom calls their bluff. Look, you got 2 options in this game. Play tough, ride loyalty, and rot while the system laughs. Or wise up early, move smart, and actually live long enough to enjoy the money and fame you hustle for. The tragedy, by the time most of them realize that, the youth is gone, the years are gone, and the people they was trying to impress already moved on. So if you're watching this thinking it's cool or solid to sit on 5 life sentences, bruh, there ain't nothing cool about throwing your 20s, 30s, 40s away. This case is a reminder. The state don't care about your loyalty. They'll use it to bury you and then move on to the next rapper dumb enough to play along. So now the stage is set, but a few big questions still hang heavy. Number 1, what exact questions is the state going to slide in front of Bortlen when Melly's retrial kicks off? They don't need a full story, just 1 or 2 lines to break the defense's rhythm. Number 2, how much time credit really chops off his bid? With 5 years already banked in Florida's 85% rule, that peace sign might have meant see y'all in 3. And number 3, the biggest one, how does this shift jury perception of Melly? If the man sitting next to him gave up the fight, will 12 strangers believe Melly's the one still telling the truth? That's the cliffhanger we're left with. A deal that saved one man's future and maybe signed another man's death sentence. So don't get it twisted. This story ain't done. The real heat starts when Melly's back in front of a jury and Bortlen's proffer echoes through the courtroom like a ghost he can't shake. So what's the real takeaway here? It's simple. Loyalty don't mean nothing when the courtroom lights flip on. The state don't care about your songs, your solid rep, your hood love. They care about convictions. And if they can flip your right-hand man into a chess piece, game over. And to the youth watching, stop wasting your golden years chasing some image that ends in shackles. Melly's sitting 7 years deep waiting on a second trial. Bortlen signed his 20s and 30s away just to dodge life. Ain't nothing glamorous about that. If you want to learn something here, it's this. The real win is staying free, staying smart, and making it out without the system writing your ending for you. So let me ask y'all this. If it was you staring down 5 life sentences, would you take the deal or would you ride it out signed till the grave? Drop it in the comments. And if you like this video, you should watch the one that just popped up on your screen right now. I'll see you on the next one. Panda out.